stuck and nobody can see it. So,
That's
Happy
right.
holidays, Dr. Kinsley.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Happy holidays, Mike. Are you done Thursday or Friday? Friday. Yeah. It's coming. Okay.
I get some fruit.
Get some fruit, guys. We're in a holiday spirit.
Yep. I see that you'll Is this for you?
It's okay.
Sounds like
Never need to apologize for that. Never need. I can hear you with no feedback.
Correct.
What's he have today?
Happy holidays, Heather.
Hey, happy holidays.
Somewhere.
Yeah, just work.
How are you?
How are you, Nadia?
I'm good. Long time no see.
I know, I was about to say.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, it's all.
Hello, everyone.
Bye.
All right, we ready?
Front load quite a bit. We got this.
Somewhere.
Oh, Jamie just started. Oh, yeah.
Everyone ready? Everybody hot?
Give me 1 second.
Sure thing.
I'll go ahead and actually get your board with love.
Testing, testing. 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 Can you hear me out there, Dr. Teddy?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen in the back.
Yeah, I know.
Probably. I hope it's the elf. Shut up, Nadia.
No, I wasn't.
Probably the one, yeah. Wearing the hat. No, it was cute. Thank you.
No, I was trying to find something. I couldn't find that.
It's healthy.
Thank you.
Maybe we're starting, maybe we're not. Let me know, guys.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Good.
Sorry, I'm ready.
Yep. All right. Good evening, Board of Education, and to the community. I am now calling this meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. Treasurer Sterling. Okay. Treasurer Sterling, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Yep. It's your week, girl.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Trustee Milkowski. Present. Trustee Gator.
Present.
Trustee Sterlini.
Present.
Trustee Dyroff.
Present.
Trustee Nasir.
Present.
Trustee Wall.
Present.
Trustee Willis. Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Unfortunately, I have some sad news to share with the board and the community. It was brought to my attention today that a recent yet former board member and a very loved community member, very active and very much of an asset to our community, Phil Shannon, passed away. And as we do our moment of silence this evening, I would like for us to keep his family and his loved ones in our hearts and in our thoughts, and anyone else that may be in grief or in mourning in our community. Thank you all. Thank you for that. Before we move to adopt the agenda, I have two additions that I would like for the board to consider adding. The first is regarding letter F, NSBA Advocacy Conference in Washington, D.C. I would like for that motion to read, be resolved that the Board of Education approves Leslie Winless to attend the NSBA Advocacy Conference and the NSBA Advocacy Institute Symposium on January 27th through January 30th, 2024 in Washington, D.C. at a cost to the district not to exceed $2,500 for travel, room and board, and meals only. Registration fees for both the conference and the symposium were covered by a grant awarded by WCASB to the credit of Mrs. Winless applying for the grant. So would any board member like for me to reread that? Because it's very long, but I wanted to be transparent. Okay. I would like for letter F to read, be resolved that the Board of Education approves Leslie Winless to attend the NSBA Advocacy Conference and the NSBA Advocacy Institute and Symposium on January 27th through January 30th, 2024 in Washington, D.C. at a cost to the district not to exceed $2,500 for travel, room and board, and meals only. Registration fees for both the conference and the symposium are covered by a grant awarded by WCSB. And again, that credit goes to Mrs. Willis for applying for that grant and then having it approved. Okay. The other addition I would like for the board to consider would be letter AA under superintendent's recommendations. It is a brief presentation in regards to student and district safety. It would potentially be an action item. We would need a motion to go into closed session under 8H to consider material exempt from disclosure by state law and any security plans by a public school. So I will reread that as well. Under superintendent's recommendations, if the board so chooses, it will be letter AA, which is a brief presentation in regards to student and district safety. We would need a motion to go into closed session under 8H to consider material exempt from disclosure by state law. And again, that material is security plans by a public school. And that would be it for me. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the December 20th, 2023 agenda as presented. A board member may request an item or items be removed from the consent agenda to superintendent's recommendations. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Nasser and supported by trustee Belkowski. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Dyra.
Yes.
Trustee Belkowski.
Yes.
Trustee Nasir.
Yes.
Trustee Gator.
Yes. Motion carries. On to public comment on agenda items only. Is there any public comment to come before the board on agenda items only? Second call, any public comment on agenda items only? Third call, any public comment on agenda items only? Hearing and seeing none, thank you. On to superintendent's reports, letter A, presentation Chartwells. That is correct. My apologies, that means I will put AA above that, our news. Yeah, that's very smart, we'll get this out of the way. Okay, so on to superintendent's reports, letter AA, brief presentation in regards to student and district safety. I would need a motion to go into closed session under 8H to consider material exempt from disclosure by state law, and that material being security plans by a public school. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Belkowski. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Vice President Wall. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Nasir.
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Dyra.
Yes.
Trustee Belkowski.
Yes.
Trustee Gator.
Yes, motion carries to the board. We will be meeting in the student lounge and to our community. Thank you so much for being patient with us. It's a very important matter, and we have to do it in closed session. We will be back out as soon as we can. Thank you.
You talk so much, I just never met you. How are you? Nice to meet you too. This is my boss Karen. Yeah, I just wanted to explain. So we been talking about it. Yeah. Yeah. Got it all figured out though. Yeah.
Holly, do you know if this runs during closed session? Yeah, it does. They're YouTube. No, right here.
we basically tell my cousins and my brother and sister-in-law, if you don't want to give, yes, to the kid. Everybody else will have to intershare time. So, for them, across the board, that's their mistake. So you guys are out of school starting on Monday. My wife's starting this week, so I'm gonna have kids by myself. My parents are coming to visit tomorrow. So my wife is like spending her weekend home this week, like completely on day. It didn't look all time after, it's already done. Yeah, right. Quite a few more districts ask us for similar things, so we're working at, in Gerald Public Schools. Yeah. Working with them, similar calendars getting moved up.
on my Zoom. For some reason, my camera, I can't. And it's not the slide. It's not. But no, as far as competing with the other, because I have, and then I would have thought, since that's a Google Meet. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You wanna go through it now?
No, I just want to skip over.
Oh,
some of
okay.
it, every time I think of it, generally on it, what's going on in your country, and just what you're doing. He was clearly like an early adult, trying to get his full status in check. Oh, yeah. I definitely. It's not. So, it's like 100% true or accurate. Yeah, Mark just had a big update. Last couple of weeks. Mark is, as of
And I'm trying to these arguments will be to more how more you learn city high schools say AI college students change things.
Is that was chalk? So there's your point, like, you're a separate, you're Okay.
Thank you. Whew. If they come back in, it's all right. That what? Oh, nothing at all.
Like a chicken.
You're like, text your mom, tell her to hurry up. I thought they said
We're doing this shit out here. Turn your cheeks.
I can go. But there
You could. You guys could watch the movie. Could have watched Oliver's. Susan's gonna be mad.
Are we ready, Dr. Finley? Charles Wilkins first, everybody. Derry? Yep, I'll turn it back on in a moment. Thank you. Yeah, Super B.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Testing. I guess just in case, what if somebody wanted to be here for that one and then let out the
switch B and C as well.
He's here first, so we'll do a motion. All right. We're back, everybody. I would need a motion to turn to open session at 8:21 p.m.
So moved. Support.
So moved by Secretary Winless, supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall,
Yes.
Trustee Nasir,
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini,
Yes.
Trustee Dyra,
Yes.
Trustee Beltowski,
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes, Trustee Gator.
Yes, motion carries. Before we continue superintendent's report for Chartwell's presentation, which is letter A, we were just informed that for the presentation of Tutor Me, they would like to go before the presentation of Counselor. So I'll give it to Secretary Winless to present that motion to switch the order of the presentations for Tutor Me and Counselor.
Motion to amend the agenda to change 7B and C, to switch them to B being presentation of Tutor Me and C being presentation of Counselor.
All right, motion by Secretary Winless. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Beltowski. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall,
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini,
Yes.
Trustee Nasir,
Yes.
Trustee Dyra,
Yes.
Trustee Beltowski,
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes, Trustee Gator.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you for that. Again, under superintendent reports, Mark, would you like to go?
You bet. So we have 4 presentations tonight. A couple of them are virtual. But we're going to start with the Fall 2023 Food Service Survey. And I'd like to introduce Leo Dykoski. He's our Food Service Director. Nella Schock is from Chartwell account, manages our account. And Karen Haas from Chartwell as well. In your packet, you have this document, so if you could make reference to that, and we'll turn it over to our guest and welcome.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. So, for the survey,
Turn the mic down.
there you go. For the survey, we started, it was
Pardon
November.
me, Leo, we still can't hear you, or at least the audience can't. Hopefully.
It's on.
You're probably just
For-
too tall for them.
It's just too tall. For the
There we go. Thank you, sir.
November 1st, for the survey that went out, 1st of November, it went to, the elementary schools had their own survey, and then the middle school and high school had a separate survey. So for the elementary survey, we had a really good response from the elementary schools. Our highest response was from Bedford Elementary. We had 269 responses total from all 3 elementary schools and 139 from secondary schools. So the surveys went out digitally. So for the elementary surveys, the teachers could help the students while they were in class. They were really user-friendly. They were thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you like the food, the taste of the food? What do you want to see more of? So it was really easy for the students to participate, and I think we got good results because it was very user-friendly for them.
That's a good thing. We have 269 results from elementary, but some of the classrooms decided to respond in like one response. So there's probably more students that we actually caught, but because like the classroom decided just to do a majority vote, the results are a little bit different, but I think we got even more than 269 kids that way.
Let's see. So for the elementary survey, for the thumbs up, thumbs down, lots of choices was 67% thumbs up. Tasty food was 72% thumbs up, and friendly workers was 93% thumbs up. So for the friendly workers, it was great to see because I've been in the industry a long time, and to have 93% for customer satisfaction for interacting with the staff and everything. It's like unheard of. Normally you're 60s or 70s, but I was really proud of the staff just because of, you know, how they interact with the students and everything. So I thought that was great to see. For their choices as far as what they like to see on the menu for breakfast, the results were a lot of things we already do. They really enjoy the chocolate chip muffins, apple cinnamon muffins, cereal bars. They like the string cheese, pancakes and waffles, fruit snacks. So that was good. As far as the lunch goes, it wasn't a very big surprise because it's all the things that they normally ask for at lunchtime, which was pizza and walking taco, chicken nuggets, Bosco sticks, mac and cheese. It's all pretty much their favorite stuff that they like to see, you know, every day. In their writing category, things that they'd like to see is breakfast, more hot breakfast, cereal, chicken wings, lunch crab, pizza bites, strawberries, hot dogs. Some of the comments that they made were they'd like to see fruit smoothies, halal choices that match the regular lunch choices, and more breakfast options, fruit and eggs and breakfast sandwiches and stuff. Some of the results I had seen earlier toward the end of November, so on December's menu, I already started making some of the changes so that we could get going with the results. And we added breakfast for lunch every week. So that's going through December, and then again in January, and then some of the choices that they've selected that they'd like to see. For the elementary survey also, they have listed that they want to have more hot breakfast options, but because we do the breakfast in the classroom with the bag lunches or bag breakfasts that go out to the classrooms, we can only do the hot breakfast at the middle school and high school level.
Sorry. So things, obviously you guys probably already know this, but we prepare a lot of the meals here at this building and transport it on. So we're doing a hot breakfast. It's being transported from this building to the elementary schools, and then again from the elementary schools to the classrooms. So if we do hot breakfast, it's going to lose a lot of quality of service and taste and heat, and so it's kind of not the best practice right now for D7, but maybe eventually we'll get there if we are able to get more equipment and stuff like that in our elementary schools. But for right now, this is the best thing that we can offer in terms of breakfast. But we'll look at expanding it, maybe giving more variety. So it's, you know, and smoothies, we already have ideas for smoothies to give them more options. So it'll feel a little different.
Moving on to the secondary survey for high school and middle school. They also, their survey was on variety, food, taste and quality, friendliness of workers, healthy choices, and easy to get foods. So the part that I need to focus on most for the secondary level is their results for food and taste quality. But as far as the variety, friendliness of workers is very good again. Healthy choices is almost 70%. And easy to get food is 63. So there is the most room for improvement with their selection for taste and quality. At the beginning of the year, in October, we started doing quite a few menu changes and adding the Global Eats onto the menu, which is we focus each month on a different nationality and add those menus into or recipes into the menu. And so one of the questions was, have you liked the new menu options so far this year? And about 50% said yes, 12% said no, and then 41% said that they have not noticed any changes.
That's the work that.
Yeah.
And Leo, could you share with them about how you go into the hallway when you're lined up? Or could you share the kind of options?
So a lot of times with the new menu items, especially at the middle school, as they line up in the hallway to come in for lunch, I'll pass out samples of what we're having, so that when they come through, they can try the new menu items. And sometimes it's really difficult to get anybody to try anything new because they want to stick with what they know and what they like, and so the results for this are a lot better received at the high school. So the middle school, there aren't as many adventurous students in the middle school as there are in the high school. At the high school, they've enjoyed the new menus and the new food and the Global Eats and stuff. So,
I just want to kind of give you guys a little bit more of a detailed view of what Global Eats is. So the way that we rolled it out for our region in Michigan is October we rolled out menus from Mexico. So it was all these like authentic recipes from Mexico, and we partnered with celebrity chefs. So you might know like Jet Tila or Artie Segura, and there's a couple other ones, but those are the two most popular. They signed off on our menus. So October we did Mexico, November we did Italy, December we did India. Okay, so you did it backwards. So India in November. This month is Italy, and then January is China, and then we are taking a little breather in February to kind of like refocus, and then in March we are starting with Korea, and then we are doing Caribbean in April. So, and we're hoping to expand more. And just something to share, I can share, right? Our regional chef, Aaron Mason, he is amazing. He'll be on Channel 2 on Friday. So if you guys want to catch that, but he has created a concept just for essentially Dearborn, pretty much, because they're the highest halal focused, and it's called Meza, and it's going to be all Mediterranean, Middle Eastern food cuisines. So that'll be coming to you guys soon. He's just waiting for the stamp of approval from our nutrition because we have to make sure we follow the state guidelines and qualificate all that stuff. So once we get the stamp of approval, we'll probably roll that out, I'm guessing after Caribbean, so maybe in May, and then that will be a staple here. We can run that anytime we want. So we'll be menu recipe items that were made just for this area. So just a little tidbit.
So at the secondary level, for their write-in menu options for breakfast, students are looking for a lot of toast options. Sliced toast, grain toast, cheese toast, sugar toast. Right, a lot. I thought that was...
Well, and the number one option that they chose was breakfast. That was what they chose, just breakfast. So I thought that was funny.
And both secondary and elementary, they wanted to see more hot breakfast options, so that's why we included them more at lunchtime so that they can see more of the hot breakfast at lunch. And they're right in for lunch. It looks similar to elementary. Bosco sticks, fried chicken, tater tots, quesadillas. One of the things on there is chicken curry. And we had a lot of good feedback from November when we ran the Indian cuisine on Global Eats, and two of their favorites were chicken tikka masala and curried chicken thighs. So, and it actually showed up on the survey, which was really great that they noticed the changes and commented about them. So, let's see. So if they could change one thing about the food service program, what would it be? The main one was faster lines, a seasoning bar, which I'll look at starting here come the new year. It'd be very easy to do a seasoning bar off the condiment station. So we'll get that going. Number 3, more hot breakfast. More hot breakfast. They really like the hot breakfast. More variety for people with dietary restrictions, bigger portions. So the bigger portions is MDE guideline. We let them know that they can come up and get more fruit, they can come up and get more vegetables. The only thing that they're limited on is just the protein. So if they wanted to come back and get more fruit or get a larger portion of vegetables, then they can do that. More milk choices, almond, cashew, oat milk, and free beverages besides milk, which is another MDE guideline. So we're not allowed to give out anything other than milk as a beverage.
Yeah, we have to use cow milk.
Yeah. So some good comments that people wrote in on the survey at the secondary level is, I saw an entree with plant-based meat that was available on the menu. I was thrilled. More of this, please. That again was some recipes from the Global Eats that used. We had soy-based chorizo and a couple Mexican dishes. Then we had a couple Indian dishes that had tofu, and some of the other dishes that had tofu as well. I wouldn't change anything. I like everything. We recently had chicken curry and it was delicious, lots of flavor compared to some of the other things on the menu. I think experimenting with cultural food more often could be really good. So again, we're going to continue with the Global Eats into the next semester with more diverse recipes and different cultures. And then lastly, put together an action plan for things that we could improve on come the next semester and get rolling. For healthier options, expand fresh fruit options, partnering with our Thomas Area and Sons local produce company, pilot fruit smoothies, reintroduce NutriSlices so that they can look up the information on all the recipes that's linked to the computer. And when they go on the D7 website under the nutritional at the bottom, all the menus are on there, and then they can look up any information from any of the recipes that we're serving for the whole month. Yeah, allergies, and nutritional breakdown, all that good stuff. Chartwell's regional dietitian Mindy Grant is going to try to come out next semester. Our Discovery Kitchen program.
Discovery Kitchen is a program where we teach students about different foods. So it can look like a lot of different things. We can either partner with a teacher and get in a classroom and educate students on different foods. We always have a focus for the month, like October is farm to school month, different focuses. It also can look like setting up a little station in the cafeteria and giving examples with like some handouts with recipes they can make at home. There's a variety of ways we do it. I just was at a school district last week where they set up a station in the hallway while kids were passing. Obviously, we would work with principals to make sure this is okay. But there are different ways that we can do this to provide some more education and just it's another way for them to taste food without having to commit to it in the lunchroom. Because like Leo said earlier, sometimes kids don't want to feel adventurous because they don't want to make the wrong choice and it's their meal for the day. So providing them examples and allowing them to taste it before they get through the lunch line is a really great way to let them try food without risking, you know, their meal for the day. So that's what our Discovery Kitchen is, essentially.
I'm going to work more hands-on with culinary training for the team, and Chartwell's offers master classes, culinary classes. So I'm going to go with our leads from OW and Annapolis and see if we can get them into some of the culinary classes to help them out.
I'm so sorry. I just want to explain what the culinary master class is. So our regional chef, Aaron Mason, he puts together a class. It's 2 days. Half of it's in the classroom. They're learning about food safety and how to read recipes, how to fill out production records, and then they're in the kitchen and they're learning knife cuts and things that are important to kind of enhance the culinary experience at the schools. And they're very focused on school-driven menus, so it's not like they're learning how to do things that they'll never use at school. So it's very focused on what we do and how to make the quality of food better. And so we run these a couple times a year. They rotate throughout the state, so they come to this side of the state once a year. So we will definitely make sure we're sending the leads from D7 to that program this year when it comes.
Continue revamping menus for next semester and working with students and their restrictions. We'll be adding more hot breakfast to the menus, which we already started actually in December here. We'll be celebrating our team and all their hard work, and we had a nice look at the other at Annapolis last week, where I kind of went over it was a little holiday party, and I went over some of the results and talked to the staff about what the students were saying and the results and how we could improve and what we're doing good. And I just wanted to thank them for especially the service, because the students really emphasized how much they appreciate their service. So.
Tell them about what you did. Right.
We had a little luncheon where we did some Mexican food, and it was a half a day. It was on Wednesday, so I had them all bring their kids that also had a half a day in with them. So it was kind of like a family party, and we had sugar cookie decorating for the kids and little ornament decorating, and we did some little games and stuff for the staff and the kids, and so it was a good time. And Mark came and talked to everybody, and it was a nice event. So. And then to follow this up, after we make some of the changes and go through everything, implement some of the new stuff on the menus, in February we're going to roll out another survey to see if they notice the changes and everything that we're working on the menu, and then we'll do another results in March, just like today.
Thank you, Leo, and Nella and Karen for your presentations on behalf of Chartwell. I'll open it up to the board for any questions that any member may have. Secretary Wong.
I was just wondering on your, what marketing did you do to inform the students and parents about the new menu and who the global eats? Are you going to send a letter out, or?
I put the different menus online where they can look up to see the new recipes and the global eats and stuff. I haven't gotten around to each of the schools to do we have like a global eats set up to show the new recipes and stuff like that. but more of it is just like trying to have them try the new food, you know, as I go through the line with little sample cups and stuff like that, and try and get it in front of them and try and get them to try it and stuff like that. It's more.
We also have signage on the line so they can see, but we will do more marketing. I think it's crucial. We'll work with somebody from your social media team too to maybe blast some stuff. And we'll make sure when you go into our menu program, there's a banner that we can get to pop up, so we'll do that. To be honest, like Leo is brand new, obviously he just started, so he was just trying to wrap his head around everything. So we're really gonna push on marketing more for this next semester for sure.
Secretary of Wellness, does that conclude your questions? All right, is there any other? Secretary of Wellness has a comment. Secretary Treasurer Sterlini has a comment.
We look alike.
I like that.
I just wanted to comment, I love the idea of the taste testing. I think that's very clever. I think that's a great way to get to start. They don't want to spend the money if they don't know it's going to taste good. So it's a great way to try it. So I appreciate that. Great idea.
Treasurer Sterlini, does that conclude your
Yes,
comment?
it does.
All right, anyone else? Hearing and seeing none, again, thank you again.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Happy holidays to you.
You too, thank you.
On to letter B, presentation of Cougar Me.
Yep, so Dr. Finney, the floor is yours.
Do we have an exhibit for this?
Yes, the letters.
The letters, got it.
Tell Holly not to spotlight me. I want this.
Not that they'll get the job.
Secretary Willis is our honorary tech woman.
Good evening. So the district just received grant monies from the 23G My Kids Back on Track. And this grant provides funds to address unfinished learning, get students to grade level academic standards, provide additional academic assistance to students at risk of falling behind their peers, and also to help students prepare for post-secondary education. So to complement what we currently have for tutoring, because right now our tutoring is before school or after school, we would like to use the 23G funds to purchase Tutor Me. So Tutor Me is a program that provides students in grades K through 12 with 24 access to live virtual tutoring. So Tutor Me will allow us to reach those students who otherwise are unable to participate in our before or after school tutoring program. So to tell us about Tutor Me, we have Ashley Moore from Tutor Me.
Hi everyone. Happy to be here and appreciate the time to share a little bit about our program. Kelly, can we see that screen okay for everyone?
Yes.
Awesome. So just to complement what Kelly already mentioned, Tutor Me is a 24/7 on-demand online tutoring program. And so our goal is to provide all students with an equitable and effective opportunity to have one-on-one tutoring and tailored to their unique learning style. We'd really like to make sure that Tutor Me is integrated with your current student information system or whatever students are used to logging into, so that way they feel as though it's not necessarily a third party, but it's really Dearborn Heights partnership with Tutor Me to provide that access to 24/7 tutoring. We are very passionate about the way that we are rooted in the learning science, and the goal is to create those effective tutoring sessions each and every tutoring session that occurs. MERS. We do like to use a logic model called the RAISE approach, and the RAISE approach is centered around 2 different guiding principles to really engage students in, no matter what their learning style is. And they are based around asking questions and providing effective feedback. So without going into too much detail in the sake of time, this is a good layout to be able to understand what RAISE stands for, as you can see here with the acronym, and explaining how our tutors go through training to make sure that they are providing their students as they become their tutors with the most effective support during those one-on-one tutoring sessions. Again, available 24/7, 365 days a year, 12 months, summertime, weekends, after school hours, as well as during school hours. With all of this, scientifically proven effective strategies, there are several powerful benefits. I like to highlight the ones obviously for students, so making sure that they are improving their academic achievements, really closing those gaps from what COVID left, which is really the main goal of these funds that Michigan is providing to get our Michigan kids back on track. That's the main points to. Really to make sure that the students are provided with that one-on-one support, as well as possible advancement. So if students are going ahead or need some challenges, teachers are also able to provide those students with assignments that kind of challenge them, and the student is able to get that one-on-one support from a tutor out of these 300 different subject areas that are available for our students within the tutoring platform. So not only the students are supported, but I also like to include add in a little side note here that also parents are very much supported. So Kelly mentioned that for students that can't get there on time or can't stay after school because of parents' jobs, or the kids maybe have jobs, this program is really for that equitable engagement aspect of things, and really being able to provide this one-on-one support no matter where the parents or where the student is and when the student can receive that support. So it really does support the parents in not feeling like they need to be the one to get that student to a certain place at a certain time based on the individual needs of every family, of course. Could go on and on about how our logic model works, but there is about a minute and a half video that really shows it.
Okay, do you want to read number 2 for me?
So I'm just going to play this for you so you can see kind of what it looks like. This is a live video session with our tutor. I would like you to really point out and really make sure you notice the lesson space of what this looks like. Something that says tutor me apart, our audio and video, and it is one-on-one. So one tutor for one student. We're able to use our lesson space, which you'll see this tutor using effectively, as well as video if the student is comfortable with that. They can turn it off if they want, and chat as well. So I'm going to just speed it up for the sake of time a little bit, but here we go.
My Wednesday people worked at a bookstore for 3-4 hours. She worked 2.5 hours less on Tuesday. I did write an expression to find the number of hours that she worked on Tuesday.
Awesome. Okay, great. So what is the question asking you to find, Greg?
It's asking you it's asking you to find how much hours she worked on Tuesday.
Yeah, how many hours on Tuesday? Okay. And how would you write an expression to represent how many hours she worked on Tuesday?
I don't know.
Okay, so do you see any keywords or any information in the problem that can help you figure out what you could use to write the expression?
It gives us an example.
Okay, good. Okay, what do you know? Do you notice anything interesting about those examples?
One's plus, one's minus.
Okay, good, good. One plus and one minus. Well, let's look back at your problem. Do you think your problem could be addition or subtraction?
Subtraction.
Why? Why do you think subtraction?
Because if you keep 6 before each one 2, 1 hours less on Tuesday. We have to do 6 equals minus 2 1/4 minus 16. 64 is minus 2.
Yeah, that's right. Great thinking. Can you tell me how you do with subtraction?
Because it said she worked 2 1/4 hours less on Tuesday.
Very good. Great thinking. You're doing an awesome job there right now. The problem that you just told me. 6 3/4. Moving right ahead. 6 3/4 minus 2 1/4 because it says she's going to work 2 1/4 hours less. Great. Great work. Very. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Do you want to go ahead and go on to the next problem?
I feel like I got it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So in that example, again, noticing the lesson space, noticing the tutors are able to use that lesson space with the board, putting on the problem. The student is able to upload the problems into the platform, so it becomes very easy for the student and teacher to be on the same page and be able to work on the problem together. So super effective in that sense. And then example really also shows that RAISE model in action of making sure that we're engaging the students with that effective engagement style. Lesson space we just touched on. I want to make sure there's any questions right now, or Kelly, or we good to keep going here? Lesson space.
Wait, we have one question.
Secretary Weatherford.
Wanted to know in that tutoring session, is it only the problem that they have in their system, or can the students upload our homework and then they can walk them through our homework?
I don't know if you heard that, but was that the problem that the tutor provided, or was that a problem that the student had, actually from an assignment?
Yes, great question. Most likely that was the problem that the student provided through the lesson space. So they're able to upload PDFs very easily, submit most forms of documents to the platform. Oftentimes tutors kind of get in the groove of how things are going, so it is possible the tutor might have used the lesson space to type up a problem that was similar to one that they used in the past, but one of those two probabilities is how that probably came about, I'm sure.
Thank you. Ashley, I do have a question. Is there translation services provided with this one-to-one tutoring?
So you mind repeating it? I'm having trouble hearing.
Is there translation services provided?
There are. Recently, we just, I believe we have 2 language translations. Let me circle back on that one, just because it is a new feature that I want to make sure I'm giving the correct information on. But I will definitely circle back on that one and provide Kelly the information in order to pass it on to you. Great question. Definitely something we're working on and just recently provided to bring the platform better than it already is.
Thank you. Vice President Wall.
Dr. Finney, you might need to translate for me. I have 2 questions. My first question is, when it says all students of all grade levels, would this also include our virtual students?
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other question I want to ask is, would students have a chance of having the same tutor on a following day?
She's going to talk about that, yes.
Yeah, I'll keep going. I just want to make sure the right questions we talked about, I'll pretty much go through this, but great question and very much something that Kelly and I wanted to highlight as well. So big question, how do students get on-demand live tutoring help? We want to make sure that this is applicable to all grade levels that we are discussing here. So the way that is happening is they're going to be given a couple of questions that are very simple and able to be answered in order for us to figure out where that student is needing help in what category. They're then prompted to give a little bit more information about their assignment. There's where they can upload a file, or they can write about that standard or whatever hopefully the teacher is kind of guiding them towards when they provide them the ability to connect on tutoring. They're hopefully providing this support for that student to put in. But this is also just optional, so I want to make sure that I highlight that. If this is not something the student feels they understand enough to put in, they can still request a tutor in a certain subject area. Then they'll press that button, and within a minute of requesting a tutor, in a minute, or I think up to 3 minutes, it should be, I think we're getting down to under 1 minute for normal wait time, then the tutor will be available. To the question that just came up to the point, that is one way to go about it with the subject areas. Another way to go about it is browsing the tutors, so taking a look at their background, what they're all about, what subject matter they're experts in, which comes through assessments that we as a company give to every tutor to make sure that they are deemed an expert in that subject area. A student or a teacher or a parent is able to favorite a tutor. As we know, I was a former elementary school teacher myself. I understand that some of my students had a certain comfort with certain tutors or certain helpers, that it was really effective to make sure that they can utilize that same person and make sure that they're engaged with that comfort level. So yes, absolutely, we are able to favor tutors. We're able to find out when those tutors are online, and we even have customers that schedule regular sessions with certain students versus with certain tutors as well. So the answer is absolutely to that. Great question. Last thing I'll mention before I jump into other questions, or last 2 things real quick, for the TutorMe Writing Lab, I kind of look at TutorMe as tutor facets, one being that on-demand live tutoring 24/7, 365. The other portion being more this asynchronous side of things, where students are able to submit their written assignments to our writing lab, and in about 40 minutes is our average time, up to 24 hours, but depending on the length of the paper. Written feedback will be provided to the students in 2 different ways. So the first way will be through the comments in the margin of the paper to really address specific opportunities for improvement. So this gives huge support for students to pre-write, create the rough draft and get towards that final draft in a much more effective way, also saving the teachers major time. So making sure that those papers are final draft grade ready when it lands on those teachers' desks. So those teachers absolutely love this. Tutors are also able to leave overall notes for the student, so they can kind of understand the gist or the whole point for the kind of recommendations for the whole paper, and definitely can be a collaborative effort back and forth with the student and the tutor as well. So writing that is a huge bonus to tutor. And last, but certainly not least, definitely a focus that I like to mention no matter what is the student safety and the priority that we have with that. All sessions are recorded regularly and observed by our team, as well as available to administrators and teachers to be able to see the session if needed. Students are also able to access the sessions as well in case they're wanting to review the work that they went over with their tutor, which I find very effective when students benefit from a session but want to rewatch to make sure that learning really sticks. So when it comes to safety and learning and relearning, reteaching, these recorded sessions are super helpful and super supportive in the sense of making parents, teachers, and administration feel comfortable that the right things are happening during these recorded sessions. At this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions. One thing I do want to mention on top of this is that there is an ability to bring your own tutors to, we call it BYOT, of your teachers or tutors that formerly have been supporting in the tutoring subjects that are happening now, or maybe the in-person tutoring sessions that you're bringing on if the student can't make it. You can upload a tutor into this program that is aligned to Dearborn Heights, and they are able to utilize the lesson space the same way that a tutor from TutorMe would. So a nice little bonus to understand as well.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any questions, Kelly.
Thank you again, Ashley. To the board, are there any other questions? I'll go with Trustee Botowski and Secretary.
Would you mind repeating it for me?
Oh, no question yet. No question yet.
It's coming.
Is this on? Okay. My question is about the safety. Are all of the tutors, do they all have a background check?
Do all tutors have a background check?
So our tutors go through a very systematic program. I believe a background check specifically, let me circle back on that one as well. I do know that a lot of our best tutors are college students, with the reality of them being the most up-to-date experts in a lot of the fields that our tutoring websites, our tutoring subjects offer. So let me just double check on that background check, but there is definitely a very concrete and strict kind of programming. We only select, I think it's something around 14%, if not less, of the tutors that apply. So we're very structured and standardized of who we allow to be representing our program. They have to have background in tutoring, a certain amount of years of tutoring and or teaching, of course, as well as proven expertise in that subject area that they are offering their tutoring services for, as well as a trained program to make sure that they are following our RAISE approach and understand how to interact with those students to meet that effective logic model that we follow. I will double check on that background check though and get back to you.
All right, Trustee Botowski, does that complete your question?
Yes.
Okay, Secretary Wallace, you're next.
My first question is, how are the staff trained on this, or what's the plan for training the staff?
Professional development training, when we talk about this.
Yeah. So Kelly and I have talked about this. So I did was able to waive a $2,500 fee that usually comes on as that kind of like install fee of this program. I did get that waived for you guys, but we still offer all of the resources to make sure that there are very in-depth videos and step-by-step guides to make sure that you are supported in the integration, as well as a team that is fully here to support you during the implementation process, as well as throughout the life cycle. So you'll be assigned a dedicated account manager who's very much there for you in the sense of ensuring that the implementation is effective, and if it's not, to collaborate and how to make it more available to your learning community all across the board.
And is there a plan to send like something out to the parents and the students to make sure that they
Yeah, I plan on making that a collective decision with all the administrators around the way.
Second to your
And
question.
it's a super simple, platform in general. So with the, professional development of being able to train teachers on the usage or even the students, it's fairly simple in that sense, which we're very passionate about making sure we don't put more on teachers' plates. But yeah, I see the best implementation happening when teachers are feeling confident in it and moving into it and assigning it during their class times as well as for homework, and students get really comfortable with it, and it really can be magic.
I was thinking like a letter to the parents and too, but like maybe being at the open houses and the orientation nights, because this is going to be something that's going to help our students as well, like big time. So just making sure that everybody knows about it and how to use it and how easy it is to access.
It was just a comment.
Okay. Secretary Jones, does that complete your questions and comments? Okay. I do have one, and I'm sorry if you did speak to this, but is there a component in this program where the teachers and the parents know if the student is growing or not from the tutoring sessions?
Yeah, I think she said roaming. Is that what I heard correctly?
Said growing.
Growing.
Like they're making progress, they're benefiting.
Are they benefiting from it or not, so they can track that?
So, first and foremost, like I mentioned, all the sessions are recorded. So if there is, the want to see how those sessions are going, administrators, teachers, parents have ability, or students have the ability to go back and watch those sessions. We do offer another tool that is more on the formative assessment aspect of things, the platform Edulastic. That actually there was some interest in Dear Words, and that would be where we really integrate those two to make sure that the tutoring is kind of measuring where your students are at, but within the tutoring program itself, it's not necessarily measuring off the bat, but we do have tools that are easily integrated that I see are the biggest solutions for ensuring that student progress is tracked and followed.
Thank you. And is the performative assessment piece, is that incorporated into this, or is that an extra fee?
But what I can tell you is that I recently met with the elementary principals about our district tutoring program. And so we're going to formalize the fact that we're going to have assessments be the gauge for the effectiveness in our district face-to-face tutoring program. So those same assessments can be used to measure those students that are using this program as well.
Thank you for that. That's it for me. Is there anyone else? Vice President Wong?
Two questions. Is there any limit to the number of students with regards to the proposal?
It's 2,500 students.
Okay, we got that, so good. And then the other question is there a long-term goal with this program? Like, do we expect it to continually be covered by grants? Or will this possibly replace any other existing program that we have for students that are short in credits that we're trying to help out?
And that was something I thought about this today in regards to sustainability. We do have Title I funds. So our Title I funds, after this grant is gone, our Title I funds can take up the funding for this program.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the board? Mark, you? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you,
Please
Ashley.
feel free to reach out with any other questions, and I will definitely circle back with those couple that I promised that I will. And happy holidays to everyone. Be safe and enjoy.
Thank you. You too. On to letter C, presentation of council. the board need a recess before we move into that? Okay. Any kudos to you, you're rocking and rolling through these presentation segments.
Hopefully she'll join us shortly, but just to give you a background on our counselors. There is an overwhelming need to support our students who experience mental health issues in our district. Last week I spoke with, a couple weeks ago, I spoke with a middle school counselor. She said there's over 50 students waiting to see the social worker that we have coming in from Beaumont. So we recently applied for the Section 31AA grant. It is a both mental health and a school safety grant. We haven't gotten our allocations yet, but the grant provides districts with funds to provide mental health services to students and staff. And one way that we plan on servicing our students and staff for mental health is through the counselor platform. And Denise Miller, hopefully she'll join us soon, is a counselor representative who will provide further information about counseling. So let's see if she shows. There she is. Hey, Denise.
Denise?
Yes.
Okay.
I've already introduced you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you all for allowing me to speak for a little bit tonight. I think the easiest piece is for me to put on my deck and just walk you through a quick presentation on who Counselor is and how we can support your community. Kelly, you can just confirm you can see my screen so I can move forward.
Not yet. Now we can.
You can? Okay, perfect. So we all know that there's a crisis today in the U.S. with mental health, and 1 in 6 youths are suffering. And we feel that there are 3 barriers that are kind of in the way of why young people and even your K-12 staff are not finding the help they need. And these 3 are cost. Some people have insurance that can cover, private care, but even then you have to pay a copay, and sometimes you only get like 8 sessions, so it's very expensive to have mental health support. Inconvenience would be next. As we all know, there's a shortage of providers today, and so many people cannot even find the care they need. It takes 30 to 40 phone calls just to find a provider, and then it could be 3 to 4 weeks before you actually have care. Oops, excuse me. And then lastly is stigma. It's still a big piece of mental health, even though we talk about it every day, and especially Gen Z doesn't want others to know that they're suffering. So that is where Counselor comes into play. We want to reach the traditionally unreachable. We want to take those barriers away so your students can have access to care. We want to make it, so it's convenient for them. We want to decrease the cost. So just so you know that the school district picks up the cost of the service, so every student across the board has the service available to them. We want to decrease the stigma, and I'll show you how that's done. What we are is we are going to be the best friend in their pocket who happens to be a licensed clinician. So what that means is we're a text-based mental health support
We're talking Gen Z's language. This is how they communicate, and they also like that they can be anonymous. We're available 24/7, 365, and everyone who is communicating with your students will be a licensed clinician. We can do smart matching to match them with a counselor that meets their needs, and if we really want to narrow that down, what we can do, let's say a male that speaks Spanish, that is, wants to talk, has a religious background. And if that's the case, we can do an appointment to really get them with the counselor they need. So this is what our app looks like. It's very simple to use. So basically the student, once they download the app, would go on it and they click chat now, and a licensed clinician will come on within 2 minutes and start communicating with them. The sessions can last up to 45 minutes, and again, they are unlimited. And then you can see the second button on the face would be to schedule a session. So again, if they wanted a smart match with a counselor, or let's say they've already started to work with a counselor and they want to continue to be with that specific counselor, they can schedule meetings in advance up to a month, and they can put multiple ones on with that counselor. So as you can see, the app will give them resources 24/7, 365. So you can imagine it's Friday night, it's late, they go on Snapchat and they see that their friends have been out and they haven't been included and they're feeling sad. They have someone that they can talk to right away. They have an exam tomorrow morning and the anxiety is really too much for them to handle the study. Again, they can start chatting with a licensed social worker who can give them tools to handle the anxiety and prepare them for tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, there's zero cost to your students, and we are HIPAA, FERPA, and COPA compliant. Our founder is actually a lawyer, and so he really made sure that all the privacy was taken care of. We also work with students 13 and older, so we will need two options for parental consent. One would be if they're under 18, we work with a company called Prevo. What they do is they do an age verification. It's all done private. And if the student is under 18, a consent goes to the parent or guardian to give them consent to use the app. As of January, we're offering school districts the option to do an opt-out. And again, either one of these choices is the school district's determination. But what that means is an email goes out to your community, to all the parents and guardians, and they can opt out to not use the service. And so everyone, if we don't receive an opt-out, the students can move forward with it. As I said, this app is very simple to use. We're talking the students' languages. These are a few of the screens that they would see. I'd like to point out the second one. What would you like to talk about? We do that every session because, as we know, teenagers may have one feelings today and could change tomorrow. So let's say it could be anxiety today and tomorrow family issues. So this just gives our counselors a little heads up of what this student wants to talk about. I've gone through some of this already, but again, we're HIPAA and FERPA compliant. So we will supply the district with data. You're going to receive that on a monthly basis. Eventually, it will become a 90-day look back. But what you would see is how many new users, how many sessions, and how many total text messages went back and forth between your community. You're going to see the date and time, which this is really important because are they using it off hours, nights, weekends, or for instance, with winter recess coming up, it's a great time to have the resource. You're also going to see the time of year. So this might just tell you that there's something going on in your community or in the world. It could be January when they're having midterms and you see a big spike of the anxiety level. You're also going to see what the topic is discussed. Right now, anxiety and depression are the top two, but family issues is coming in number 3. So this leads us to believe that they may not have somebody at home to talk to. And then lastly, you're going to see, did they schedule a meeting or did they do a chat now? You're also going to see the length of the session. As mentioned earlier, our sessions are 45 minutes, but right now we're averaging about 41 minutes. And this will automatically be sent to you. We'll have a point of contact at the school that it goes to. Now, within our app, we also have a knowledge base of some self-help resources that have all been vetted. We wanted it to, again, make it as simple as possible for the students to find the resources. So let's say a student had talked about, some body images with the counselor. She may or he may suggest at the end of the session to go look at the self-help resources. All they have to do is click on that within the app, and they're already at that resource. So we don't have to send them to other websites to look for things. In addition, we're going to have information on the school here as well. So your contact, your emails, phone numbers, whatever the school determines, but we'll make it all together in the app so they have those contacts as well. Now, we look at ourselves as a prevention platform for mental well-being. We want to keep the small issues small before they escalate. But we do know that students will come to us that are going to need more need than we can provide. Excuse me. So first off, just to let you know, our counselors work on a computer while they're texting with your students. We are not a crisis management, but if a student comes to us in harm to themselves or someone else, we have the ability to push an SOS button on our computer. What this does is it geo-tracks the exact location of the student, and we call for a wellness check. We have created a database of all wellness numbers in the U.S., and so you can always correlate that with that student. We're very proud of this. 988 cannot do this yet because of some privacy issues, but at the beginning, a student does give us consent to have their location on it, just like Uber would do. And hopefully, we hopefully don't have to ever push this button, but if we do, we hope to save someone's life. Now, the other scenario would be that a student needs more care than we can provide through texting, and at that point, we'll talk to the student and get their consent to do a warm handoff back to the school, whether it be the counselor or the point of contact there, or the parent, and just explain that this student needs more care. We think this is really important because we're not trying to replace anything that you have in place in your current school system. We're just trying to give you more resources, and we are going to because we're going to discover students that are what we call the unreachables, you'll find out students that are suffering, and we'll be able to give them to your support staff. Now, this is just some data we collected. 48% of our users are using it off hours. So again, that's night, weekends, and vacations. We had 3 schools in May actually launch us to get us up and running for the summer months when the schools are closed completely for 2 to 3 months, and that was really important to them. And both of those school districts have since added more schools. 83% of our users are what we call the unreachable. They have never sought mental health support before. Like a young person, they may not know when they're going to be sad. The boyfriend could have broken up with them and they're devastated and they just need someone to talk to. And so that's why this is so convenient for them. Now, we have a 95% retention rate, a satisfaction rate, which means that at the end of each session, they do a thumbs up, thumbs down, and they tell us how they feel about the program. And we're very proud of that because, again, we feel like we're talking the students' language. And these are just some testimonials, so I won't go through that. But we truly feel that we are unique, and as I mentioned, we feel like with that prevention platform to help them with those small issues before they escalate into larger issues. When we go to implement into a school district, it's very simple. All we're going to need is email addresses of your students, so when they first log in, they'll click on the high school, and then they would add their email address, and we'll know they belong to you. This is important because we want to make sure the data is correct, and also if there is an emergency, we want to make sure that we have the right contact information. At that point, we're going to coordinate with the school to run webinars or assemblies. We're going to give you QR codes and flyers. We want to make this very successful and get as many users as possible. We're also going to stay with you throughout the year and do additional communication. We can create a whole marketing plan to educate your community ongoing, not just the students, but the staff and the family. And some school districts also may have some peer groups that might want to get involved, coaches, etc. So we will, work with any groups that you want to really help, build this support. And we'll look at that data that I mentioned earlier, and if we do see that it's there's not enough usage, that's when we'll start saying, okay, we need to send out, some more emails, or we need to come in and do something like do a tabling and things like that. But we really feel that the resource is a great great service for your community, and it really does give your students 24/7, 365 resource for mental health support, and it is a best friend in their pocket. And we're really excited to work with Dearborn and partner with you, and we hope, I guess if you have any questions, we would love to launch this in the beginning of next year.
Thank you, Denise. I'll open up any questions that the board may have. I definitely have some, but I'll turn it over to Trustee Bilkowski first.
This is for ages 13 and up only?
Yes, it is. And then also we could do your K through 12 staff. And we can aid, as students age in, we could add them in as they age in.
Okay, and what if a child doesn't want to inform their parents that they want to use this app?
So it will depend on how the school chooses. If they wanted to opt out, then the parent would have to choose that they don't have that resource available. If we do it for the parental consent, they would have to consent. But the school does have the ability to write a letter of consent, and we've done that. Like, we work with 6 schools in the Bronx, and we have many disengaged parents there, and we've done that there.
Thank you.
And I should clarify too, because we offer support, not therapy. So what the difference between that would be is therapy, you can diagnose and you can write prescriptions. We're not going to be doing any of that. We truly are a support, someone to talk to at that initial level.
Trustee Bilkowski.
And then I have one more. So parents and students have the option to opt out. So are we paying a flat rate or a per usage fee?
It would be a flat rate for your full community. And there's 2 reasons for that. One is because we feel that if we are reaching the unreachable, you don't know when a student's going to use the resource. And 2, it's, we need to make sure that we have staff available 24/7 to service all the communities.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other board members have questions? Vice President Wall.
Yes, so one of the questions on the pricing detail, it says from January 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025. I just want to make sure, is that correct?
Yeah, this is a 2-year grant.
Okay, that's what I just want to double check on. Okay. And do we know, and this is probably more for Dr. Finney or Mr. Finance, do we know with the 31AA grant, do we have things that are already, do we have any concerns of it conflicting with anything else with the 31AA grant as of now?
We have an abundance of money now.
Thank you.
Okay. Secretary Wallace.
It's not on this presentation, but I just wanted to know what the plan was for children that are under 13.
Secretary Wallace, I don't think some people couldn't hear you. If you could bring the mic closer, maybe.
I just wanted to know what our plan was for the children that are under 13.
Right now, we are having a difficulty trying. We have the money to hire additional social workers. However, I've reached out to Beaumont to see if we can get additional staff person to come in. They have no one. I've reached out to other private agencies to see if they have individuals. They don't have any. So the plan is to hire some more face-to-face support staff, but it's just a shortage out there.
My question is regards to like the wellness check cost. So if a child is in need of crisis intervention, you said a SOS button could be tapped and then a well-being check could be started. Does that call go to the school and the parent, the building administrator? Who's involved in the well-being check?
So first and foremost, they would call for the wellness check, and then they would contact the parent or guardian, and then they would notify the school district. So all 3 would be notified.
So Denise, who's contacted for the wellness check?
Well, I heard.
It would be the emergency number for that, where their location is. So you can't, let's say one of your students was not even in Michigan, they were away visiting relatives, and they were using the resource. That's why we do the geo-tracking to know exactly where they're located.
I see. As a part of the well-being check process, if a child discloses that they are being abused or neglected, will one of your staff be responsible for contacting CPS?
Yes, we are mandated reporters, and they will follow the rules of that state.
Thank you for that. Let me think if I have any more. Because you did say it's support, not therapy. So if it starts to be something exhaustive, you will refer the child and the parent out to other services, more long-term?
Yes, so we would then we would talk to Kelly how we want to set it up, but there'd be a point of contact at the school, and that's who our director clinicians would have a conversation with about that student once they gave us the consent to talk to them, and then we would give the one hand up to them. And again, these are all licensed clinicians, so they work in private practices and in school districts. They're like a licensed clinical social worker, like licensed mental health therapist, etc. And they work part-time for us. So just so you understand, I know Kelly was just talking about that there's a lack of providers. So that's, I think because they work part-time, that's one thing that's a benefit for them. And also because they offer support, they do not have to be in the state of Michigan, so that they can, let's say a student was talking to them at midnight, they could be actually in California. So that gives us a wider pool of providers to offer our communities.
Thank you. My last question would be, from your pool of providers, are they from diverse backgrounds? I find that oftentimes people don't engage in therapy because they don't have a good match. So that would be something that would be very important for me to know.
Yes, they are from diverse backgrounds, and I will tell you we're working hard right now to find someone that speaks Arabic, because that's been a big request. So that's something, that one we are working on. But in general, they are diverse backgrounds, and if they wanted a specific background, that was when they would schedule an appointment versus doing a chat now. A chat now would be who was on call at that point, so we can't determine what the background. Also, you should know the app is available in Spanish and English, but our counselors speak many different languages.
Thank you for that. That concludes my question. Secretary Willis, I believe that's all your hand is. I asked. Okay. Any other questions from the board? Hearing and seeing none. Thank you, Denise. Dr. Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly. Have a nice evening.
Happy holidays. I believe we have one more. Letter D, presentation of MI Virtual.
Sorry.
Whatever keeps our energy up.
So, our last presentation is from Michigan Virtual. Artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT have taken education by storm. Teachers are using these tools to create new content, differentiate their instruction, and students are using these tools to improve their understanding of complex ideas and receive specific feedback on work. So it's important for classroom teachers to understand the potential and the limitations of artificial intelligence. So the district would like to provide all staff with a training session on AI tools on our February 13th PD Day. Justin Bruno, the AI consultant with Michigan Virtual, will provide further information regarding the AI training.
Good evening, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'll try to speak into the mic. So I got to talk to Dr. Finney and Mr. Kleinjens a few weeks ago and some other administrators within the district, so I'm trying to do a really condensed version of that and talk a little bit about what we do. So Michigan Virtual, state-funded nonprofit, mostly known for online and blended learning, but we also have a big devotion in our company to professional learning. So we have a lot of online PD and we also do face-to-face PD. I used an AI image generator to create this little Pixar avatar of myself. So most of us are interacting with AI through things like chatbots. Most of us are hopefully have an account using ChatGPT or have some exposure to ChatGPT, but there are a ton of other tools that teachers, students, the general public are using, including Google's Bard, Microsoft Copilot, and another chatbot called Claude. There are tons of other image generators that people are also using. A lot of the images in my slide deck are created using AI image generators. DALL-E, Imagine from Meta and Midjourney are some as well, and those really open up a lot of creative opportunities for students and for teachers as well. This is one of my favorite graphs to show you how popular ChatGPT is. This was the search interest in ChatGPT since the beginning of this year. That's when January 1, that blue line starts to go up. So ChatGPT has about 100 million weekly users. And the working theory is that a lot of those users are students. And so we kind of tested that hypothesis by overlaying the search interest with ChatGPT with the search interest for Minecraft. So if you take a look at this graph, you can see that in the summer months, ChatGPT search interest declines, while Minecraft search interest increases. And then that flips again once school goes back into session. So we have a pretty good hunch that lots and lots of students and teachers are using AI tools already. In terms of why people are using these AI tools, they are really capable. These are test scores that researchers found when they gave GPT-4, that is the paid version of ChatGPT. GPT-4 was scoring in the 90th percentile on the uniform bar exam, 88th percentile on the LSAT. So these machines are incredibly capable. And again, they're not just going out to the internet and looking up answers, they are generating all new answers to these questions. So they're very powerful tools, but there's a lot of ripple effects when it comes to the use of these tools in education specifically. Big part of the kind of ethical issues that we're all grappling with in society and in education right now is determining how much quality and reliability is in the output of these tools. They're prone to hallucinate or make up facts. There's also tons of data privacy and security issues when it comes to what data we're giving to the companies who produce these tools, especially in an education context. And talking about equitable access, who has access to the most cutting edge tools to be able to actually help them in their work or help students with their schoolwork. There's also a ton of bias inherent in the data that these tools were trained on. And so we have to have really critical conversations with teachers and with students about the bias that might come through in the output in these tools as well. And then lastly, these tools really unfortunately help bad actors in a lot of ways. We've seen an uptick in spear phishing email attacks since the introduction of these tools, voice cloning software being used to scam folks out of money by pretending to be loved ones and asking loved ones for money. So having, again, really kind of ethical, critical conversations about what these tools and how they're impacting society is really important. The other kind of weird space we're in is there's not a lot of research yet. They're so new and there's also so widespread that we don't yet know what the impact of these tools is. There's a few studies that I want to highlight. The first one is from the workforce, showing that consultants who were using AI in the course of their work completed 12% more tasks, 25% more quickly, and achieved 40% higher quality results. So it's not really a stretch to think that employers are going to be asking students and future employees to know how to use these tools in their day-to-day work. One of the other headline findings from that study showed that the bottom half skilled participants in that study were the ones who saw the biggest boost in productivity. Meanwhile, the top high flyers at the company were seeing a smaller boost in productivity. So there's kind of a working theory right now that AI tools might be a skill leveler. It might help folks who may lack certain competencies or be deficient in certain skills be able to kind of perform on par with top performers, at least in the workforce. Now, workforce is much different from learning and in schools, right? When it comes to the use of these tools, it's one thing to say a tool can help a student perform a task, but can that tool also help that student learn and genuinely internalize and understand that information? Some early studies showing that when we set the right conditions for the use of these tools, that they can be beneficial. But I won't go into the details of that study. There's a link in the slide deck so you can read it. But basically the idea is we still have to provide students with struggle and expose them to content and information before they use AI, from which they can really just get answers and explanations. So our big focus at Michigan Virtual is trying to think about how we help teachers and students think about when and how to use AI. There's also a ton of tools that are coming online right now that are purpose-built for educators. So these are some that we highlight in our training: Magic School, DFID, Gamma, and EduAid. Those really are meant to be productivity enhancers for teachers. I'll talk a little bit about what they do. They help folks write recommendation letters, IEPs, newsletters. And again, we give a lot of guidance in our training about when and basically when not to never use personally identifiable information when it comes to writing or using these tools to write these sorts of things. But they can help make the job of teachers relatively easier and save some time on some of these more kind of drudgery tasks in some ways. They're also really good at creating rubrics and grading criteria for assessments. And we've really seen, I think, an exciting outlook here is the use of these tools to differentiate for students, because they can make that work go really much more quickly. So differentiating your learning content, your instructional materials by reading level, by aptitude, by interest. The teachers will know that student much more than ChatGPT will ever be able to know them, but they can use the ChatGPT and other technologies to personalize learning. The other kind of hairy question that we're tackling in our trainings is, how are we going to rethink what plagiarism and cheating is in the age of AI? When is it okay to use AI? And for us to still be able to know when students are doing original and authentic work. And so we talk about this in our trainings and helping teachers define what they're okay with when it comes to the use of AI. Michigan Virtual has put out its own framework on understanding when appropriate use for AI might be, dependent on the learning task that student's being asked to do and what their own, that student's competencies and skills are. And we also really want to work with educators to help build AI literacy in students. This is a huge need just in terms of this rapidly changing world that we're in now, and being able to have conversations with students about how these technologies work, how to develop skills for appropriate use, and then also how to facilitate discussions around the ethical use of these tools too. We talk a lot in our trainings about how do we kind of elevate expectations for our students in this age of AI, knowing that humans are the ones who are going to be able to have to tackle big problems like climate change, inequality, designing human systems, and focusing and doubling down more on emotional intelligence, collaboration skills, and knowing when it would be okay to introduce the use of AI for certain things to build the skills that we want to see in our students. So at Michigan Virtual, we talk a lot about how to develop your own AI philosophy, because an approach and a strategy and a policy are all fine, but this is really kind of bringing into question what the purpose of school even is if we have machines that can do these things. So we are working with schools to try to help them develop clear visions for AI integration, advocate for professional learning and support. We've put out this rubric so that school districts can assess themselves about how they feel on their AI integration journey. And what we are basically trying to do is work with schools to hold awareness sessions. That's what we did a couple of weeks ago with the administrative team, and then roll out professional development, thinking about ongoing professional development, or maybe even deeper consulting type work to help schools really think about how big of a topic this is and how to kind of take some of the pieces together in smaller, chewable portions. So that's what we're doing. We've done a couple of these sessions already with other school districts, basically half-day or full-day sessions for 200, 250 staff. And we run kind of like mini conferences where we've got breakout sessions so teachers can kind of pick and choose what portion or angle of AI they want to tackle. And we bring in about 8 or 10 facilitators from our team to facilitate those sessions. So we really just kind of get folks made aware of what's going on in the AI space, hopefully make them feel more comfortable, and then we give them resources to go deeper after that as well. So that was our initial proposal that we worked with Dr. Finney on.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Thomas, for your presentation. And I'll turn it over to the board for any questions. I definitely have at least one or two, but I'll give it over to the board first. All right, thank you. Again, thank you for your presentation. My mind instantly went to like policies for our district as it relates to AI. So I would imagine if this is something that the board or the district adopts, that you would be working closely with administration to make sure that anything you guys are implementing is not a violation of policy and vice versa. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of school districts are really hesitant right now to adopt board policies because of the rapid pace of change right now. So we've seen boilerplate language from groups like Neola and others that we point people toward, and we kind of work with school districts to think about the guidelines and considerations. But I would say right now, most school districts are not adopting hard and fast policies. They're trying to think about guidelines or governance structures where people can take risks and experiment and then think about how to codify that into a policy later on down the line.
Thank you for that. My next question is regards to like how families can better understand this, so it can be reinforced in the home. So does your product offer any like resource support or educational support for families?
I would say not directly, but we incorporate that. I think the first step is just building the knowledge in the teaching staff first so they can feel comfortable having that conversation. I think that's kind of a secondary thing that we want to help people do though.
Jump the gun a bit, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. But it is something that you guys have thought about.
Absolutely, yeah. So one of the domains in our rubric is outreach. So we're basically saying like you need to know how to communicate this to your community, and also how these technologies are going to impact your outreach workflows and communication with the community as well.
All right, thank you for that. Any other questions from the board? Mark?
Yeah, so the presentation to the administrative team was very good. It was only much more in detail. I certainly learned a lot. I use ChatGPT. I don't know if you guys have, but I use it for a number of things. And I believe that we need to train our folks to get ahead of this, right? Because I do think that there are some educators out there that are like, not touching it. Kids are using it to cheat, This is going to be part of their world. It's going to be part of our world. I think we definitely need to educate our folks on how we can effectively use this tool here in our school district working with our kids. So very nice presentation. Thank you. I know it was shortened and I appreciate that too.
Yeah, of course. I was trying to go quick. And I'm happy to follow up too with testimonials from some of the other districts that we've done trainings with as well if you're interested in reading those.
Appreciate that. Vice President Wall?
So as much as like I feel like those teachers who their brain hurts when you hear about AI, but I just want to ask, and I think I got it all on here, but so this is looking for on a professional development day. Is this every single teacher would be involved in this?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I met with Justin to talk about what this day may look like, because we know we're going to have individuals that are at various levels of using AI. So it's a broad spectrum of offerings that teachers can attend.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I think that is it from the board. Dr. Finney, if I could ask that for all of the presentations that were done today, that the board receive an emailed copy for our reference. Sounds good? All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. On to other matters under superintendent's recommendations. Letter A, certified staff appointments, exhibit number 2 in your packets. Be resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following certified staff appointments. Named Denise Milehauser, I apologize if I mispronounced that, DENISE MUDHLHAUSER. The asterisk means that this person is coming from a third-party contractor. The position will be for special education at OW Best, effective date December 18th, 2023. Kelly Giles, KELLEYGILES, position of counselor at OW Best, effective date January 10th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Walls. There's support, supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Botowski?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries, and we welcome Denise and Kelly to our district. Letter B, non-certified staff appointments, exhibit number 2 in your packet. Be resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following non-certified staff appointment. Stacy Sabo, spelled STACEY-SABO, position paraprofessional at OW Best, effective date January 8th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Beltowski. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Is there a discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Botowski?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries, and we welcome Stacy to the district. Letter C, certified staff resignations, exhibit number 3 in your packet. Be resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following certified staff resignation. Patricia Mounsey, PATRICIAMOUNSEY, position speech and language at Pardee, effective date December 7th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Nasser. Is there support? Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Botowski?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. And to Patricia, thank you for your service to our district. We wish you the best in your endeavors. Letter D, football fencing project. Just to remind the board and the public, this was a tabled item at the last meeting that we're now bringing back because we needed some more information, and that information is included in the resolution. Be resolved that the Board of Education awards Star Fence, Dearborn Heights, Michigan, the fencing installation project at Shercop Football Field. The monies from the contract cost of $9,100.00 will be derived from the ESSER 3 funds. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Nasser. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Beltowski. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Botowski?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter E, Board of Education regular meeting start time. Just to give some context, this was brought up at our last board meeting that maybe we want to consider starting at an earlier time. I went out on a leap of faith here to put it as a resolution because I don't think we will struggle much with this, but I could be wrong, but I am going to see. And so is a board member willing to present a motion of what time they feel would work best for the board to have that meeting? I will recognize the hand of Trustee Beltowski first.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education agrees to start their 2024 regular Board of Education meetings at the start time of 6:30 p.m.
Okay, is there a motion? Motion by Trustee Beltowski. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Secretary Wendlis. Is there a discussion? Vice President Wall?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't make it before 7. That was the reason why I ran, was because I could make these meetings. That's why I never ran for school board prior, because now finally I can do it.
Okay, thank you, Vice President Wall, for that. Any other discussion? To Mandy Dyroff.
So this was brought up at the last meeting, as you know, by an audience member asking us to change our times. And I did follow with that person just to get some clarity on it. And she basically said that many of the teachers said that if there was an earlier time, they wouldn't have to go home, they could just stick around. You know, once you get home, it's hard to leave, et cetera, et cetera. Here's what I have to say about that. I appreciate that. I always appreciate what the audience has to say. However, these are Board of Education meetings. There are meetings. It's important to me that a time is chosen that everyone can make. To change the time to suit the audience and impair what works for a board member is not something that I would be in favor of doing. So I will be voting no on that because of that.
Okay, any other discussion?
Can we
Trustee
rescind,
Nasser, you're not.
sorry, can we rescind our support to see if we can accept the motion for 7 p.m.?
Absolutely, because right now we have a motion by Trustee Volkowski, we have it supported by Secretary Willis, we're in discussion. So at that time, those could be rescinded. We could also put it to a vote. If it's voted down, we can bring forth a new motion, just to let everyone know. Treasurer Stern.
Yeah, I would agree with Mandy. You know, obviously, if we all can't make it, and it's not like we need it for everyone to be able to make it, and Derek can't do it. Then, unfortunately, sorry everyone, I get it. Like, none of us want to be here at 10 o'clock, unfortunately, but yeah, I'd say we stick to what we have.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else have discussion points? Trustee Volkowski.
It's not a discussion point. I will rescind my motion and restate it.
All right.
Rescind support.
All right, we got it rescinded and we got the motion removed. Is anyone willing to put forth a new resolution?
Did you agree to rescind?
She did.
Okay.
Yep.
I will make.
It was Trustee Volkowski and seconded by Secretary Willis, is what I heard.
Okay.
All right, you're up.
I would like to make a motion, be it resolved that the Board of Education agrees to start their 2024 regular Board of Education meetings at the start time of 7 p.m.
I support.
All right, so we got the motion, the new motion by by Trustee Volkowski and supported by Secretary Willis. Is there a discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Volkowski?
Yes.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Sterlini? Yes. Trustee Dyron?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter F, NSBA Advocacy Conference, Washington, D.C. And again, this changed for us before we adopted our agenda. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves Leslie Willis to attend the NSBA Advocacy Conference and the NSBA Advocacy Institute Symposium on January 27th through January 30th, 2024 in Washington, D.C. at a cost to the district to not exceed $2,500 for travel, room and board, and meals only. Registration fees for both the conference and the symposium are covered by a grant awarded by WCASB. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Nasser. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Volkowski?
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Dyron?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes. Motion carries. All right, Leslie, come back with the goodies.
I'll bring it back.
All right, on to letter G. It's a very long read, as I forewarned you, but I'll talk as fast as I can. Second reading adoption of proposed new, revised, and reissued board policies. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the second reading adoption of proposed new, revised, and reissued Neola board policies as presented. For transparency, I will not be reading the volume number, but I will read the bylaw or policy number and the actual name. Bylaw number 0144.1, compensation. Policy 1615, use of tobacco by administrators. Policy 2623, student assessment. Policy 3215, use of tobacco by professional staff. Policy 4215, use of tobacco by support staff. Policy 5511, dress and grooming. Policy 5512, use of tobacco by students. Policy 6108, authorization to use electronic fund transfers and automated clearinghouse arrangements. Policy 6325, procurement, federal grants and funds. Policy 6460, vendor relations. Policy 6700, Fair Labor Standards Act, also known as FLSA. Policy 7434, use of tobacco on school premises. Policy 7540.02, web accessibility, content, apps, and services. Policy 7440.03, small unmanned aircraft systems. Policy 7540.03, student technology acceptable use and safety. Policy 7540.04, staff technology acceptable use and safety. Policy 8300, continuity of organizational operations plans. Policy 8305, information security. Policy 8315, information management. Policy 8400, school safety information. Policy 8805, flags and displays. Policy 9150, school visitors. Policy 9160, public attendance at school events. Policy 9700.1, advertising and commercial activities. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Nasser. Is there support? Support. Supported by trustee Dyroff. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Nasir?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Beltowski?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter H, 2023-2024, second semester School of Choice Program participation. Be resolved that the Board of Education participates in the Schools of Choice Program as permitted by Section 105(c) of the School State Aid Act and accept grades K through 11 limited enrollments by non-resident students who reside within Wayne County ISD, RESA, or contagious districts for the second semester of the 2023-24 school year. The open enrollment period will be January 8th through January 26th, 2024, with limited openings as follows. For grade 6, limited enrollment of 15. For grade 7, limited enrollment of 0. For grade 8, limited enrollment of 5. For grade 9, limited enrollment for 1. For grade 10, limited enrollment for 5. For grade 11, limited enrollment for 5. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Walls. There's support. Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Sterlini? Yes. Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Beltowski?
Yes.
Trustee Nasir?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter I, CTE Equipment Grant Exhibit number 5 in your packets. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the purchase of a Versa desktop printer / cutter for Annapolis High School in the amount of $13,262.00. Monies will be derived from grant funding 61C and CTE Equipment Grant. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Nasser. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Vice President Wall. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Beltowski?
Yes.
Trustee Nasir?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. On to unfinished business. We have board self-assessment. So guys, we didn't meet the deadline on that. The goal was to have it all done by the 15th, and that would have meant that all 7 would have needed to get it done for MASB to have the report drafted and given back to us hopefully by today. We missed that mark, which is okay. They are aware that now that all 7 members have completed the board assessment, so I hope that we can take a look at that next year. Any discussion on that? Trustee Nassar.
I do want to apologize for my tardiness on the assessment. I told President Gator that I would have done it, and it was finals week. Completely slipped my mind, so I did complete it yesterday. And I do want to apologize to the entire board and take full responsibility. It was me. And
I'm sorry, Nadia, but it was not just you.
Okay.
I would also apologize. Along with finals and final projects, it slipped my mind. I finished it on a recent evening.
For the integrity, guys. Treasurer Sterlini.
I have to say, though, I appreciate that. You guys can remain anonymous. I actually was wondering, did I not, like I didn't, but I was almost going to ask her, like, did I not hit a button? I was thinking maybe I didn't finish it like I thought, so.
Yeah, Cindy at MASB just doesn't tell me who completed it and who didn't. She just tells me the number of completions. And she has been on my head about it, like, okay, you got 5, you got 6, we got 6, we got 6. But again, I'm not harping all over this at all. It was just an aspiration and some data collection for us to use. So thank you for being honest about that. Any other discussion about the board self-assessments? Vice President Wall?
Yeah, well, I panicked because after I got the second message, I was like, oh my gosh, I did it like in the middle of the night. I just want to thank you guys for, I'm not the last person, I just want to thank you.
For the first time.
For the first time,
For the first time. All right, sounds good. On to new business. And I'll turn it over to Mark in just a minute to share a new business item that he thinks is important for the board to consider and for the community to know of. But what I do want to say is based on what Mark presents, this would be the section for the board to maybe create a new action item, maybe hear a new resolution. And I know that's not something that we usually like to do. We don't like to do walk-on motions because it could be easily seen as a surprise. However, what I want to remind the board and the community, we had a closed session earlier about this matter, and so it wouldn't be considered a surprise at all. But again, it's up to the desire of the board. We will do whatever the board wants to do, but under new business, we could entertain a new action item based on what Mark says. All right, Mark, you're up.
Yes, so we have information about a new security system that we heard information about. It's from the Lockout Company. It's the Smart Boot System. It is a system designed to, I will just be clear, it's designed to save people's lives, students, staff members' lives during a critical incident. And so this information came to us from a school district very close to us that has this system in place, presented to the administrative, a small group of administrators, and from there it was presented at the district safety committee, overwhelmingly supported, and then we had the folks come back this evening and present to the finance committee, and so it's a very comprehensive program for school safety. And so I presented information in regards to that, a funding stream for that. And if the board is interested in moving forward this evening, I certainly would encourage that and would appreciate that.
Okay. Any other discussion on that from the board? And again, I want to be very clear on the direction I should take regarding the resolution or action. Trustee Biltau.
So I'm writing a resolution.
I have a resolution written.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You can do it though. I'm not holding you back.
Oh no, because I don't have the amount.
Okay.
So please.
Yeah, thank you, Trustee Biltowski. Trustee Dyroth.
You'll add in that motion, or did you add in that motion the funding and where it comes from?
Yes, ma'am, I did. All right, Vice President Wall, did you have your hand raised?
No, I was just going to be like, Trustee Beltowski had announced the motion.
Okay, sounds good. Anyone else? All right, the board is okay with me presenting the resolution. All right, be resolved that the Board of Education moves to purchase the Lockout Smart Boot System from Lockout USA at a cost to the district of $751,927.00. Monies will be derived from grant funds. Those grant funds are 97C Safety Grant, 31AA Health and Safety Grant, and ESSER 3 funds. If you can allow me to refer to my notes for more of a breakdown for that. For the 97 Safety Grant, the breakdown would be $218,000. For 31AA Health and Safety, that will be $55,000. And from ESSER 3, that'll be $478,927 for a total, again, of $751,927. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Walls. There's support. Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Mark, you're up.
Yes, so please know, this is a huge investment in our students and our staff safety, and I'm very pleased and very proud to bring this to the school board and to put this plan in motion. There is a timeline that will be set after this evening. We'll go through the process. It's about a 6 to 7 month install process. There's professional development that's part of this, but this is a huge undertaking, and I just applaud the heck out of you folks. This is a big step forward for this district.
All right, any other discussion? Trustee Dyroth.
Yes, thank you for that, Mark, but also in turn, thank you for bringing this forward into the safety committee as well.
Yep. I also want to say thank you to Vice President Wall and Treasurer Sterlini. I know Vice President Wall heard this at a training that he went to. Treasurer Sterlini really worked hard because she hadn't heard of this from another school district. So again, like Mark said, there was a real collaborative effort to make this happen, and it just proves that we're putting safety first in our district. All right. Any other discussion? Roll call.
I have one discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For the public to know that they talked about this today at the Finance Committee, and then we have a closed session.
Thank you for that. And we also talked about.
They just got the presentation and was like, yeah, that's good.
Yep. You bring up a very good point, and I also want to remind the community that in our last Building and Site Committee meeting, this is also at the recommendation of Building and Site, but there was a streamlined strategic process that Mark put in place, that it went to the Safety Committee, which is comprised of administration, school, right, administrators as well, finance to make sure that it's budgeted for and we can afford it in our finances, and also Building and Site. So I think we did a really good job on it, if I may say so myself.
Yes, and the safety committee is comprised of folks from all over the district, and they gave it an overwhelming thumbs up.
Roll call, please. Trustee Beltrowski. Sorry, Secretary Willis. Speak publicly if you
Sorry.
can.
Do we want to mention anything about how we got a credit for some of the lots we purchased, so that way we know?
Yes.
Thank you. That's
Very good point. So working with the company, they did make an adjustment in the fees. They reduced the overall cost of $20,000, and they did that because this board took steps a few months ago to purchase additional hardware for our open spaces for the doors, and so we did receive a credit because we already did that work, and so I was quite pleased that they took that up. Thank you for reminding me.
Let me take a step back. Any other discussion? Panoramic view? Roll call, please.
Trustee Beltrowski.
Yes.
Trustee Nasir. Yes. Trustee Willis. Yes. Trustee Sterlini. Yes. Trustee Dyer.
Yes.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Gayton.
Yes, motion carries. Is there any other new business? Hearing and seeing none. On to district points of pride. Mark Klein.
Yes, so I have 4 pages of points of pride, okay? So I asked the administrators to fill out points of pride in about 4 pages. I'm not gonna go through all of those things, but one of the things I will say is I have been blown away by the generosity of this community and what they have done for our students and our staff. And I've been blown away by the work that our staff has done to support our students. And so, I mean, I've got list after list of all of the events and everything that's going on and that's happened for the holiday season. But I will just say that I want to thank everybody, the teachers, administration, teachers, support staff, the outside agencies, you guys as a Board of Education, for everything that you have done for these students. We've come a long way in a short amount of time. We've got a lot of positive things going. I'm really looking forward and super excited about this boot system, student safety. I'm just so pleased with where things are, and I'm just blown away by the generosity that all of us as a community have shown during this holiday season. So I want to wish everybody happy holidays, and I trust that everyone will be rested and ready to come back for the new year. So thank you.
Thank you for that. Any other district points of pride? Hearing and seeing none. On to public comment number 2. Is there any public comment to come before the board this evening? We will get the clock going in just a second. Please bear with us. Holly is covering, and thank you so much, Holly, for covering.
Just very quickly, I appreciate the motion to finish the project at the football field. We badly needed that gate to secure the facility. There is another motion that I would like you to put on the agenda for the organizational meeting in January, and that's to finish the project at the auditorium. That project was not completed. All of you know there is no air conditioning. It's not so much the air conditioning, and within the air conditioning is the fan that moves the air in the auditorium. I'm not saying I'm hesitant about the concert tomorrow night. I was not at the play, but when there is no motion in the auditorium, you're just sitting there, and you all know what's going around right now. So please put that on the agenda. Finish that project. The bid is a great bid by a great company, and I would really appreciate if you would put that on the agenda so that that project can be off the tables, so we can close the book on another wonderful project. The second thing I'd like to talk to you about is I see you have the committees listed here. Bond Committee, Finance Committee, Policy Committee, Technology Committee, and Bond Committee. I know all of you are aware of the finance report that indicates that there are $0 in technology, so there probably won't be a technology committee. Bond Committee, obviously I just told you 2 projects that were not completed, which leaves Building and Site, Finance, and Policy. I just wanted to read a letter that I'm going to present to the Secretary. Dear Board of Education, I would like to continue to be on the Building and Site Committee as a community members. I have served several years and think I bring a great deal of history and knowledge to the committee. Thank you very much, Virginia Morgan.
You could have left it in the bin, but here you are. Go right ahead, Mrs. Morgan.
Was
Let us know.
in here?
You're quite all right.
Thank you very much.
You're
And,
welcome.
I often tell 1 or 2 of you that I'm so proud of you, but I guess I'm proud of all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Morgan. Is there any other public comments to come before the board? Any other public comments to come before the board? Last call. Any other public comments to come before the board? Hearing and seeing none. Thank you for that. On to other business. I'll start with the board committee updates. There aren't any updates from the Building and Site Committee. From the Finance Committee, no updates. Policy Committee, there is an update. I'll turn it over to Chair Dyro.
I updated you at the last meeting.
You sure did.
This December 6th meeting.
Yep.
And you have the minutes of that. Exactly what I told you then.
All right.
It's in writing in your packet.
All right. Any questions regarding Policy Committee meeting minutes?
Very quickly,
Yeah.
thank you for your work, Mandy, getting the policies onto the board agenda that needed to get caught up. And then our plan is, I still have a little bit more work to do to get stuff from our Neola rep. And I did receive 2 documents that I put in my notes from Neola. Received them yesterday, so we'll be working on those. But thanks for getting us back in the game.
Thank you, Mandy. Anything else? All right. On to upcoming board committee meetings. I'll just zip through this. There are no scheduled committee meetings for any of our committees at this time. All right. Meetings, dates, times, and locations are subject to change, and updates will be announced via district website and social media per Open Meetings Act. On to kudos. I think they're spread out amongst us. We'll start with Trustee Dyroff. We'll go around.
This is to Karen Kaufman from Dr. Kelly Finney, for going above and beyond. Thank you for your assistance at the District Professional Development Day. It was truly appreciated.
This is to Miss Terry from Karen Crusoe, dated December 6, 2023. Thank you for working the door at the pool for the OW Best Girls Swim Meet. We had a big crowd and appreciated all the help.
Mine is to Ryan McKay from Karen Crusoe. Thank you for announcing all the events and swimmers at the middle school girls squad swim meet. The athletes and parents were able to cheer and participate to a well-organized meet due to you.
All right. To Nancy Orham from Karen Crusoe. Thank you for timing at the OW Best Middle School Girls Quad Swim Meet. They, the athletes, and the coaches appreciated your time and support.
To Emily Anderson from Karen Crusoe from December 6, 2023. Thank you for timing and I apologize, I'm trying again. Got rid of the frog. Thank you for timing and cleaning up at the OW Best Middle School Girls Quad Swim Meet. The athletes appreciate your support.
This is for Scott Weaver from Karen Crusoe. Thank you for helping run the OW Best Middle School Girls Quad Swim Meet doing crowd control. The athletes and coaches appreciate your support. This is to Brian Buchanan, and you guessed it, from Karen Crusoe. Thank you for supporting the OW Best Middle School Girls Quad Swim Meet. The athletes and coaches appreciated all the efforts to help the event run smoothly.
All right. Any other kudos? To Mark.
Yes, I do want to give a shout out to Dr. Finney. We've got all these grants coming in, and as you guys know, she's taken on those projects. I know tonight's meeting was lengthy with those presentations, but I want to thank her for putting these presentations together, for looking at those grants and figuring out how can we best use those dollars to meet the needs of our students. So just a shout out to her for the work that she's done.
Trustee Beltowski.
And I would like to give kudos to all of the administration, support staff, and especially the teachers in this last week before Christmas break. We have 2 more days. We can do this.
All right. Treasurer Sterlini, Vice President Wall, I'll go next. You want to wrap this up?
So maybe I should wait on this kudos, because I apologize. I was looking on my phone to get the person's name. My phone died. One of our teachers here in the district, I don't know if anybody caught it in Press and Guide, and one of his buddies has like this 8,000 light display, and I believe he's one of our teachers. It's LUCA. What was that? Thank you. So kudos to him, and I believe they do a toy drive with that as well. So phenomenal job to him. He's one of our D7 teachers. Just thought that was great.
All right. Sounds good. Vice President Wall.
I want. Yeah, I want to give a kudos to Ms. Purcell for doing all the kudos. That was very nice. But I also really.
Kriesel. Sorry.
I don't have it in front of me. I apologize for mispronouncing your
We did
name.
have it in front of us. We still didn't get it.
It's Kriesel. Ms. Kriesel. Thank you so much for those kudos. But also, I just want to do a kudos to all my fellow.
I know.
It's not in here. All my fellow school board members here. We did a good job. We all survived the year so far. So here's to a new year, and hopefully we can work really good as a team. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll echo what Derek said, because that was going to be my kudos too. Kudos to the Board of Education for getting to this moment of our last board meeting of the year. It was a wild year, but it was not as bad as it could have been if it wasn't for all of us getting it together when we needed to. So again, thank you to all of you for being a part of this amazing Board of Education team that we built together. All right.
Kudos to all the crossing guards. Y'all my unsung heroes. It's cold out there.
All right. Trustee Nasser? You're good? All right. So I think that is it for kudos. And I would need a motion to adjourn at 10:22 p.m.
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Beltowski. Is there support? Support. Supported by Trustee Nasser. Any discussion? Definitely just want to say happy holidays to everyone in our community. May you be blessed, may you be safe, and may you be happy. And we look forward to seeing all of you next year. All right.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Dara,
yes.
Trustee Beltowski,
yes.
Trustee Nasser, yes. Trustee Sterlini,
yes.
Trustee Wall,
Yes.